Hello everyone, I'm Kibin Alleyne and today is Tuesday, October 8th. You are now watching Open, a program that brings the Bronx and New York City straight to you. Don't forget to stay connected with us via social media at BronxNet TV. The Committee for Hispanic Children and Families is on a mission to combine education, capacity building, and advocacy to strengthen the support system and continuum of learning for children and youth. Founded in 1982, the Committee for Hispanic Children and Families provides programs that reach underserved, low and moderate income children and families throughout New York City. Ramon Peguero, the President and CEO for the Committee for Hispanic Children and Families, now joins me. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Now, I talked a little bit about the committee, but can you, further go into detail about the overall mission?
Well, our mission is really to strengthen the support system and the continuum of learning for children and youth. We do that through education, capacity building, and advocacy. We have early care educational services, we have after-school programming, we work with the immigration population, we have a community empowerment team that works throughout the community in the city of New York, in all 5 boroughs, and we also have a policy department that ensures that we bridge the gap between legislators and those that are being impacted by the laws that they are about to pass.
Now, how does your organization identify and prioritize specific educational needs of underserved children and families in New York City?
What I find interesting is that a lot of times non-for-profits and other organizations, they have a cookie-cutter approach to doing this. They'll go and research a community and they'll come up with a plan as to how they think that family, that community, or that individual should be served. What we do is we ask those that are being affected. We go into our after-school programming, we have parent work groups, and we ask people, what is it that you need from us? A lot of times we think that we know what's best for people, and at CACF, the Committee for Hispanic Children and Families, we believe that people know what's best for them, so why not just go to the source and ask them?
Now, I understand that there's going to be an opening of an early Head Start program, which further prioritizes this idea that education is super important. So can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, we're super excited. We got funding from the federal government, the Head Start office, to serve 223 children through early Head Start. As you know, the Bronx, when you look at the demographics, one of the poorest boroughs in the city of New York, if not the country. And what the Head Start program from the 1960s started was believing that what happens if you were to invest in impoverished neighborhoods, impoverished students, and giving them all the resources that they need, would they be able to make it? And they realized that there was a significant increase in improvement in both the lifestyle and the community at large. So the Early Head Start program that we are about to open looks at a holistic approach to serving not only the children, but the families and the community. Because we understand both through the Early Head Start and the Committee for Hispanic Children and Families that if you don't elevate everything around that child, you have done nothing, because they're part of a larger sphere of people and community. So we believe that this new Early Head Start is going to do wonders for the children and the families in the Bronx.
Now, you mentioned holistic, approach. Can you explain, what does that look like, in an early Head Start program?
Of course. I mean, if you were to take a child, whether it be an Early Head Start program or an after-school program or any type of educational setting, and you were to give them all the resources possible, but yet when they go home, they have some issues with housing. They're underhoused, they're in a shelter, or they're working, they're living with 3 or 4 different family members. If they have immigration issues and they're concerned about their parents not being home when they get home, when their parents are underemployed or not employed at all those factors are going to impact the lives and the education of the child. So the holistic approach is, let's deal with the entirety of the issues. Let's bring in the parents, let's bring in the caregivers, let's take care of the community, because the child is not in a vacuum. They're part of all those things. So if we take care of all those wraparound services for the entire family, we're also taking care of the education of that child.
Now, how does this program also support health and wellness?
Well, I mean, education is not just the 4 walls of the school. Education is everything that has to do with an individual. So the health of the family and the wellness of the family has to do with those wraparound services that I alluded to earlier. You take care of one thing and it's a trickle up to ensure that the holistic health and wellness of the family, whether it be the health, because now they are educated on how to take care of themselves, what hospital to go to, what clinic, what doctor, and the mental health, understanding that now I don't have to worry about where my child is going to be, the safety of my child, the school they're going to be, the quality of education that they're getting, and whether they're going to be in a safe environment while I'm out at work.
That's amazing. And I love the trickle up idea
That's
instead
right.
of trickle down. That's amazing. Now, what other programs does the committee offer to empower childcare providers?
Well, we have an early childhood department, and we work with child care providers in residential settings, and we help them through a plethora of service delivery models. We help them with CPR, first aid. We help them with medical administration servicing, curriculum, setting up the curriculum, setting up their spaces, ensuring that there is quality, nutritional education, and other child development accreditation training that they need to ensure a quality setting for quality education for the children.
And I understand that a lot of the, these childcare providers are also people from the community. So investing in them, what could that, I understand for a long time there have been a lot of challenges for early childcare providers. When we support them, what long-term effects could that have on our communities?
Well, child care providers make up the largest part of the early care sector in the city of New York, right? And what we understand is that parents feel very comfortable putting their children in an educational setting with people with whom they know. So not only are we helping the parent go to work, but we also are helping an individual have employment in their own home. And when you start elevating the provider, the child, and the parent, you are inevitably elevating the community. So in the Bronx specifically, we believe that what we are doing is having a major impact. We hear it from the people, we hear it from the providers, and we hear it from the families. So we're very happy to continue to do this type of work.
Now, in what ways does your work aim to influence changes to support minority voices in education?
Well, one of the things that we do, as I mentioned earlier, the policy work that we do, the advocacy work, we continue to believe that we are not the voice of the people. We are a bridge. And what we are part of 26 different coalitions throughout the city and the state of New York on issues of education, early childhood education, prison to school to prison pipelines, to try to see how we could influence. But how do we do that? We take our parents, we take our students up to Albany so that they could be heard, so that their voices could be heard. So we see ourselves as a bridge to connect the people and the voice of the people with the legislators that are making those decisions. I don't want to talk for the community. I think that they're capable of talking for themselves. And what we want to do is make sure that they have that bridge to be able to connect with the people that have the power.
Now, what are some of the challenges when we talk about minority voices in education? What are some of the things that people within that community are facing in regards to education?
Well, one of the challenges is not seeing yourself reflected on the educators, not seeing yourself reflected on the leadership, not having access, whether it be because of language or culture, and understanding the nuance of how the systems work. And what we're trying to do is we're going to try to break down those barriers, trying to identify individuals that look like the people, that speak the language of the people, that understand the culture of the people, and connecting them so that they could see themselves in the future being those leaders.
And I understand that a lot of this work revolves around low income or moderate income families. What layer does that add to the work?
Well, I mean, it's very hard to call a parent and say, let's have a meeting after hours because they have just finished maybe their second shift and now they're ready to go home, take care of the kids and go back to work. A lot of times it's very difficult because they don't have the equipment or technology to get in contact with us or for us to get in contact with them. So we have to make sure that we are more grassroots, knocking on the doors, making sure that it's face-to-face so that they can understand what it is and the value of the services that we're bringing to them.
That's amazing. I think it further shows that there's this idea of community.
That's right.
So it's not like you're just working with an organization that you don't know the people, or it feels, when you're dealing with business, it doesn't feel like a business. It feels like you're actually building community. So I'd love to hear that. Now, speaking of community, what role do community partnerships play in enhancing the services you provide? And how do you engage with other organizations that kind of help build this effort?
Well, it's interesting because no not-for-profit could do it all, could have all the services So what we need to do is identify, let's not reinvent the wheel, as they say. Let's identify partners in the communities that are doing things that we're not doing. Vis-a-vis, you mentioned mental health and so forth. So what are the hospitals? What are the clinics? What are the psychologists and psychiatrists in the community? Where are the jobs? Where are the bodegas? Where are the clinics? Where are the elected officials that are going to be able to help us holistically attack the problems? Because not one organization is going to be able to say, we did it all.
That's amazing. And then where can people go to learn more about the services that you provide? And if there are possibly, opportunities for volunteers or people who want to get involved, where can they go?
Well, the old way is you could call us 212-206-1090, or you could visit us at our website, cacfinc.org.
Now, I'm curious to know, can you explain, what do you hope to see for the future of the Head Start program? I understand that this is just the beginning. What do you hope to see, 5, 10, 15 years from now?
What I hope to see is a revolution, really, especially in the Bronx. Interestingly enough, the Early Head Start director that we have just hired is an Early Head Start student. She started as a young child in Head Start, and now she is going to be the director of that Early Head Start program. So we're hoping that in the future, those children that we're serving today are going to be the leaders of tomorrow.
That's amazing. And, as you mentioned that, can you talk about the importance of, a child seeing somebody kind of grow and become somebody that they can look up to, especially in this community?
Yeah, I'll put it this way. Whenever you travel somewhere for the first time, it looks like a long journey. But the second time around, you say, oh, we got here faster. When you are able to see yourself reflected in the leadership and in the people that are doing the work, you could see yourself doing it in the future. So we're just trying to present people with images of themselves through us so that they could know that they too could do it.
That's amazing. And I love that, we're putting an emphasis on the Head Start program, because I think once you can reach children at that age and show them what's possible, I think it could only set them up for further success in life. So, with that, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to join us and talk about something that honestly affects everybody in our community. Even if you don't have children, somebody that has children, it deals with employment, it deals with so many different aspects of our community. So with that, I want to thank you for the work that you're doing and sharing that with us here on BronxNet.
And thank you for having me.
Of course.
Appreciate it.
To follow along with the Committee for Hispanic Children and Families, please go to their website at chcfinc.org. Don't go away. We'll be back with more Open after this.